In episode 27, iPiffle on the Prophet Muhammad's violent past. Violent jihad is a callous attempt to subjugate all peoples to Sharia law. But perhaps the overriding reason that Islam is so violent is because the Prophet Muhammad is the only known founder of a major religion who is also a warrior and a military leader. Muhammad was no different from any other military leader of his generation. Islamic biographers have revealed that Muhammad committed many ruthless acts, including sanctioning assassinations, ordering prisoners of war killed, enslaving other nations, and giving his blessing to violent religious jihad. Muhammad is also said to have warred with other tribes, exploited women and children, and ruled with an iron fist. Many Muslims around the world, including in the United States, are only taught Muhammad's merciful deeds. Consequently, many Muslims are in fact unaware of his full life history. Those that have heard such stories are either in denial or seek to discredit them as untrue. For those more radicalized Muslims who are aware of Muhammad's violent history, this can be a strong motivator for them to engage in violent jihad themselves. They point to the fact that as the supposed final prophet chosen by God, Muhammad's behavior and character should be studied, revered, and emulated. Since the founder of Islam resorted to violent means throughout his lifetime, Muhammad's example has been exploited for these express purposes of allowing them free rein to engage in violent acts in the name of Islam. These jihadists believe that their actions through Muhammad's example will bring them closer to God and make them worthy of gaining entrance after death into paradise. If only Muhammad had preached nonviolence to accept people of all faiths and to coexist peacefully with their neighbors, then the whole of mankind would have been spared many centuries of suffering. Had this been the case, then Muslims would be greatly respected around the world. Still, even though Muhammad's life was not wholly righteous, it is incumbent upon Muslims to stand up and denounce the violent and hateful aspects of Muhammad's character. Muslims must admit to themselves that, like religions, icons of other faiths, and virtually all religious leaders, Islam's great founder was also deeply flawed. All Muslims must stand together and acknowledge that Muhammad's actions and teachings were not holy and that many of them contradict Islam's more admirable precepts, such as mercy and forgiveness. If only the vast majority of Muslims were willing to do this, then perhaps they could erase the blight of violent jihad from the face of the earth. Non-Muslims around the world also have a role to play in changing the face of how Islam is viewed. We all need to be less concerned with offending the religious sensitivities of the followers of Islam. We should each do our part and make a concerted effort to show moderate Muslims that we care about them and honor their beliefs. We need to make it more apparent that our intentions are not to offend them, but to support them in coming forward and denouncing terrorism of any form. The reason that this is not done, to a large extent, this is the fault of the liberal media and those self-proclaimed human rights groups who persist on shielding Islam from criticism in the name of political correctness and religious sensitivities. It is time to break the cycle of radical Islamic violence, and the only way to achieve this is for both Muslims and non-Muslims alike to stand together and denounce these atrocities at every opportunity. Thank you for listening. I hope you will join me in my next video.